Hello, this is Paul with Logics Workshops. I'm going to take a few minutes and share with you some of the tools and equipment that I take out in the field. So I have a field bag here, and my son is a controls engineer who did traveling, and I gave him my really good bag, tool bag. But in the meantime, I very quickly had to make a trip to England, and where I spent 3 months. I did a 1 month stretch, then home for a week, 1 month, home for a week, and then went back a third time. But I had to pack a field bag, and I want to show you kind of what does a controls engineer pack in a field bag. There's some very important tools and supplies that I think that is important that you're aware of that you might want to add to your field pack if you're building one. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing I did is I went to a store not too far from here called Menards, because I didn't at that time. I wasn't ready to pay, $300-400 for a really nice bag. But I just picked up a field bag, nothing special. It's got a bunch of loops and a bunch of pockets. And this one's still in pretty good shape, actually. The other one was pretty well broke in. So I just picked up one from Menards, nothing special, but it needed to be durable. And this one in particular, one thing I did like is the bottom's kind of got like a bucket, so it sets flat. Which is really helpful when you're on the job, instead of having bags that keep falling over. And it opens up all the way. This is really important in the field, is that it opens up all the way, so I can get inside pretty quick and pretty easy. Plus, on the outside, there's a quick access where I can have a bunch of tools, and I can quickly access that with just a little unzipping the front end. All right, so now, obviously, as a controls engineer, one of the most important priorities I have is making sure that I integrate the hardware and the software. One of the best tools, most important tools that you'll need for that is a meter. So let me share with you the meter that I use in the field, in real world projects, and that is this Fluke. Now, I use, in this case, the Fluke 87 V, a true RMS meter. So this is the meter that I use in the field. And I use it for a variety of different reasons. This particular one, for a variety of reasons. Obviously, it comes with the magnetic strap, which is really helpful. The backlit, so there's some lighting. It has the AC and DC. It has the milliamps and microamps, ohms, and it just has a lot of the features that I would need for some of the more complicated types of projects that I might be involved with. This, when I bought it, I think it was like $500. Might be a little more, a little less, I'm not sure. I bought it some years ago, and I've had people say, well, why do you buy such an expensive meter? This is how I make my living. Think about that. I'm gonna be a race car driver, but I'm gonna buy a cheap car. Something about that doesn't make sense. This is how I make my living. I buy the best of in the areas that it is extremely most important, and the meter is very important. All right. One of the other things I didn't notice till I unpacked my bag is how many flashlights I have. I have a lot of them, and actually I'm missing one. My wife borrowed it. So I use a headlamp. I have a headlamp. That's very important. I have 2 flashlights, right? Because you might be working with somebody or a couple of guys, and you may need extra flashlights. I have another flashlight, and I like this one because it's magnetic on the handle. So I can attach it to a wall and then move it, almost about 180 degrees. So it's not bad, and it's pretty bright. It's just a little pen light, but it really comes in handy. I can just put it in my pocket. Now, the thing about this flashlight is I have to be holding it, right? So it's a little pocket flashlight that's pretty handy, right? This one's handy if I'm checking something or need some extra light right at a very specific spot. Now, if I'm doing installs or I'm building panels out in the field, then I also take a field light, which I put away in my closet here. Anyhow, I use that field light, which I cannot get to right now, but it's a nice square one. It's very, very bright. Shoots a lot of light into the cabinet, and I can hang it. It's got some magnetics in the back, and so it's really, really helpful. So you say, why so much and why so many lights? Because even in a well-lit area, when you're inside of a cabinet, I would imagine you are aware that you can create a shadow. It could be dark, and there's a lot of fine work that we need to do with wiring and labeling and pinning our wires. It's important that we do it correctly. Okay. One of the other things I like to bring, or I need to bring always with me, is lockouts. Now, I have and follow the OSHA lockout standard. I bring 3 locks, 3 keys. Okay. Maybe for one for me, or I need a lockout multiple places, and so I have multiple locks. Now, my name is written on each lock, engraved in each lock, and that's what's important, that my name is there and it's engraved. And my last set, I also had the company that the contract company I was working with engraved in the back so that they knew whose lock it is. I didn't get that on these, but I have 3 locks that I bring always with me. Now, by now you're starting to realize this is going to start being some weight, which becomes important when you're traveling, especially internationally. Okay, so another very important set of tools for controls engineers are screwdrivers, right? We have a whole slew of different screwdrivers. I put it in one of these little pouches right here, and I bring all the Torx head, the flat, all kinds of different screwdrivers. And it's kind of a mix of screwdrivers that I've collected over the years that is very important. And one of the other things that I bring with me that I actually took out once I got back from England was a bit set, right? So all the different little bits, very important, and a universal screwdriver, which I set somewhere else. But a universal screwdriver set, which I don't have right there, but apologize for that. But here it is. So I have that, and I can swap in and out different bits. Very important tool to bring along. Very important tool to bring along. So you can swap out different bits for different situations, right? All right. So those are very important tools that I bring. Okay, so we got flashlights, we got lockouts, we got bits. Okay, one of the other things I will bring is, so I worked with a company that used these, and these are super awesome. Matter of fact, I do a bunch of recording using these. So I got a USB connector, right, to headphones for my computer, so that if I'm having a meeting or I need to record something verbally, it gets really great reception. It's very easy for the computer to connect to this, very easy to get all set up. So that's what I need. I need a quick ability to throw on a set of headphones to have the voice and all that taken care of when in the field. Because the last thing you want to do, and I've done it, is struggling with getting voice on your computer so you can hold a meeting over Teams or something that nature, Team Viewer, and then not be able to hear you or understand you. So I've had that. That is very, very frustrating. Okay, one of the other things I bring, SD cards, okay? You're going to need SD cards for a variety of reasons. Even if you don't use them on every trip, bring them, because they're a very important tool to have with you for transporting and transferring files, etc. Now, I have an SD card, and I also have I don't know what they really call this, but it's an adapter, an SD card adapter, so I can use the mini SD cards. And I bring that along, even though I have almost never used it, but I bring it along just in case, okay? You never know, something with your phone, something with who knows what, all right? So I do bring a couple of, 2-3 of those. Okay, obviously we need a couple other things. So we need wire snips, and yes, I still use the old school ones. I don't do a ton of new wiring, but so I just use those. You bring some wire snips, some small wire snips. And then for wrenching, what I found is instead of bringing a whole set of wrenches, I just bring a crescent wrench, right? Now you can bring, I usually have 2. I don't know what happened to my other one, but I have 2 of 2 different sizes. One a little bit bigger, 12-inch, I think it was. And then a nice set of vice grip pliers here, all right? Very important. I bring those along with me all the time. They're very easy, and they pretty much cover all the different sizes of nuts that I would have. I mean, I if I need something much bigger than like a 12-inch wrench, crescent wrench, then I need the right tools, right? I gotta get somebody who's got bigger wrenches, not the crescent, because they just won't handle the torque, right? Okay. Now, Ethernet cables, right? I bring 3 of them. Each one a little longer than the other. One that's only about a foot, I think 2 foot long. Another one that is, I think I took that one out. Another one that's probably about 6 to 10 foot, and then another one's about 15 foot, 5 to 10 foot, and then 10 to 15 foot. And I bring those for a variety of reasons. One of them is, before I move on, I also bring this little connector here. So I can actually take a couple of these if I need to and connect them together. So this is a bulkhead connector here. So you usually mount this in a bulkhead, and from the outside of the cabinet you can connect in, and it has a permanent cable going into the network switch on the inside. So I usually bring this along because if I need to stretch out my cables for longer than 10-15 feet, right? Or for whatever reason, right? I bring this along, always with me. The reason I bring 3 is because I bring one of these. Because when I'm sitting at the table and I'm trying to do some work, I may need to connect to a couple of different machines, or there may be a couple of people who need to work off the same network, and this makes it really handy. I bring one, even though other people might not have it. I bring one, so one from my computer to the switch, from the switch to the processor, and then maybe one to another machine or another device for whatever reason, or that's not tied into the network of the machine, or for someone else to then tie in here. And if they didn't bring a cable, I have one. So very important. Kind of got to think ahead. What is the situation going to be like? And don't just think of yourself. Think of other people too. They may have forgotten something, might not have thought about it. Very important. Okay, so when England, we went to install a machine. And when you go to install a machine, it's very important to you got to set the machine, right? You got to bring it in, line it up, set it up. And a lot of times I'm assisting in that if I arrive early. So what I do is I bring a nice little professional level laser measurer. This here is a GLM20. And I really like this. It's just a cool little tool. You push the button, you point it against the wall, and it's got a readout. It will tell you what that height is. There you go. All right. Very simple, very good tool, very simple and easy to use. I also have another tool that I sometimes will bring. I don't always bring this, but I often do. And this is a digital like level. So what it'll do is it will shine a laser out. I think you can see it shining on me, and it will help you level, and it will use lasers, and it'll do all kinds of different funny things. This is a professional GPL5, and it's magnetic on one end, and it does like virtually 360 degree leveling. So it's a very cool device. You can You can get it in a position that you want and then lock it in so it'll hold those positions. It'll shoot lasers and then give you the level of those devices. One of the other things you got to get really, you don't have to be this one, but I get the Cobalt measuring tape. Very important. I had a company, actually these three devices, contract company we used for some projects in the past I worked with, awesome company, showed me the value of these tools and having them, and I thought, I got to get my set. So anyhow, very important. So you get this tape, because this tape is really going to be helpful when setting and aligning equipment. Now, do you need these all the time? No, but when you're installing a machine, these are helpful tools, right? And once you get these, you'll find that the mechanical guys want to use them and they want to buy a set of their own, and it becomes awesome. Okay, one of the other things as a backup to my headphone piece is a set of old school earplugs, which are missing from here for some reason. What happens, you come back home from overseas or on a trip, but you just want a set of earbuds that you can plug into your computer and use those as a backup to your USB headphones, because you never know, right? These are your backups, and my backup is missing, so that's important. After this video, I will find them so I can rebuild my kit back again. Okay. One of the other very important set of tools are all my network cabling. So when I say network cabling, obviously I'm not talking about Ethernet cabling, but what I am talking about is all the devices I may need to connect to my safety controller, whatever other device that needs to be communicated to. And I have, I'll bring some cabling for some of the, if I know that there's some RS500 devices, I'll bring some cabling for that. But for my phones, for Ethernet, for USB to C, so I will bring all these cables, and there's just a large variety of them, right, for a printer, because all these devices, all of them have different cable requirements. So I bring these are incredibly important to bring on a trip for all the different devices that you're going to be connecting. Sounds like somebody started the mower up out back. Hopefully that doesn't disturb us in what we're doing here. And that's okay if it is, right? Because we are controls engineers, we need to adapt to the environment. And kind of wanted to do this video because I want to give you another sense of who I am and what we're trying to do here at Logix Workshops. So we're trying to do a lot of awesome things coming up. All right. So anyhow, I also bring a multi-plug, right? All right. So this one I bring as a minimum. All right. As a minimum, I bring one of these. Then of course, an Allen wrench set, very important. Water flavorings. I will bring a good, 4 or 5 of these, depending on how long I'm going to be gone. I'll bring 4 or 5 of those. Very important. I will bring a USB connector. This one has 4 USB connectors on it. So it plugs in, I can plug more USB. Very important. Very important. Use that almost every single trip. And I think one of the final things that's in my pack is COVID mask, right? Because you never know. Sometimes I've used this on a project down in southern Indiana just because the environment was incredibly dusty, right? I had a hard time breathing. And I'm not a wimp, dude, but I mean, there's no person in the world who would be there at that time and not say that they needed a mask because it was so dusty. They had little bobcats running around, and it was tossing up a bunch of dust, and it was just really, really bad. So, for the most part, that is, let's see if there's anything else in my pack. That is what I bring when put inside my field bag. Oh, one other thing. Safety vest. Always bring a safety vest. I don't like wearing these things, but sometimes it's absolutely necessary because it looks geekish, right? But I've worked in environments where there's lots of heavy traffic, and I'm like, dude, if you hit me, it's because it's your fault, not mine. I'm wearing a vest, right? So there's a lot of things to consider when building your kit, your field bag, and I'm trying to check to see if there's anything I missed. But when you build your field kit, oh yeah, there are a few things, right? All right. So for me, at my age, I need a variety of different glasses. So I usually have 3 sets. So I have a set of safety glasses. I have a magnifying glass, and I have a long range. Mostly because I don't have a set that is a bifocal. Then, of course, I bring my most favorite controls engineering tool, the red pen for redlining, right? And then a bunch of pencils. I bring a bunch of pencils and a couple of pens. So I think that rounds out the kit that I bring in the field. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. I didn't see a video online anywhere where people talked about it. And I thought, you know what, this is really important, especially after having gotten back from 3 months in England. So that's my experience. That's my story, as they say, and this is supplies and equipment for my field bag. So if you have any questions, put them down below. I'll try to answer them. Go ahead and go to logicsworkshops.com, kind of take a look at some of the new things we're doing. We're making a large concerted effort to grow our offerings to you guys, to support you. And this video is just one way. All right, so I look forward to hearing from you. Catch you on the next one.